Omega Factor is a beat-em-up game starring Astro Boy, the main character of the Astro Boy media franchise. Astro attacks enemies using high-powered punches and kicks, which can also knock enemies into other ones and destroy them as well. Doing some damage to the enemies will slowly fill the EX gauge at the top of the screen. Once the gauge is filled, Astro is able to perform a special attack. Rather than simply helping the player, these are required in some situations. Astro is also able to fly using rocket power, which is also sometimes necessary. Every non-player character the player meets scores a point that can be used to improve one of Astro's stats, such as strength or flight speed. This is generally not necessary to beat the game, but the incremental stat increases can make the game easier, as well as allowing the player to find hidden areas and levels. The game features 2 difficulty levels in the Japanese version, and 3 in the North American and European versions. Omega Factor received positive reviews, with aggregate scores of 85 out of 100 from Metacritic and 86.72% from GameRankings. GameSpot's Frank Provo stated that everyone, regardless of age, simply must own and play Astro Boy. Omega Factor, because it is one of the best action games on the Game Boy Advance. The publication named it the best Game Boy Advance game of August 2004 and later of the year overall. GameSpy writer Benjamin Turner likewise listed it as one of the best Game Boy Advance games of the year. The game was highly praised for its visuals. Provo called the game, overall, a delight for the senses, and praised the detail and lavish animation of the background and character sprites. Jeffrey Winter of Nintendojo stated that the environments are beautiful and look as if they were built to be admired, not just walked through. He went on to say that Omega Factor has more seductively detailed visuals than any other Game Boy Advance game. IGN Craig Harris called it a technical marvel, especially praising the fluid animation of the bosses and reserving criticism for the game's occasional frame rate slowdown. The New York Times' Charles Herold called it a memorable experience.